Hi, everybody. I'm Vera Phipps, and I will be your budgeting coach. A little bit about me. I've spent over 16 years navigating the financial world, specializing in investment banking and financial strategy. During my career, I've been involved in some intense high stakes situations, everything from mergers and acquisitions to debt restructuring and capital financing. I've worked across a variety of sectors, including fintech, construction, oil trading, you name it. Um, 6 years ago, I made a bold move and I left my career back in Ukraine and relocated to California. Started from scratch. This has been a journey of resilience, adaptability, humbling. I've been managing my husband's businesses. I've launched a CBD brand. I've consulted a few fashion and jewelry brands. I even learned coding with MIT. When the war in Ukraine started, I co founded a tech startup focused on connecting volunteers, donors, and nonprofits globally. All these experiences have taught me the value of actually effective budgeting, and now I'm here to share this knowledge with you. So, welcome everybody, and let's cut to the chase. Managing your money is a big deal. I know it sounds boring and maybe even a bit scary, but stick with me. By the end of this module, you'll see just how empowering it can be. We're diving in the world of budgeting. Now, don't roll your eyes. This isn't your grandma's budget. We're talking real practical steps to take control of your financial life. So, why is budgeting crucial? I'll start my little presentation here. Why is budgeting? Why a budget matters, right? Why is it crucial? Simple. Without a budget, you're flying blind. You think you know where your money goes, but trust me, those little expenses add up faster than you can say latte. Budgeting gives you clarity, it gives you understanding of your financial situation. It's all about control, knowing what you have and what you need to achieve. It's about the clarity from step A to step Z to your goals. And the best part, it's not as hard as you think. Think about it this way: a budget is like a roadmap for your money, it tells you where you're going and how to get there. Without one, you're just wandering aimlessly, hoping to end up in a good place. But with a budget, you can set a destination, plan your route, and make adjustments along the way if needed. Let's look at some common misconceptions about budgeting. Some people think budgeting is about restriction, but it's really about freedom. When you know where your money's going, you can make informed choices and avoid unnecessary stress, right? Others believe that budgeting is only for people, sorry, that budgeting is only for people with lower income. But that's not true either. Everyone, regardless of their financial situation, and especially people who earn more, can benefit from a budget. It it's about making the most of out of what you have and planning for the future. And the last thing is that it's not as complicated as people think it is. It's just discipline. Now let's talk about the benefits of budgeting. First, it helps you achieve your financial goals. Whether you're saving for a vacation, whether you're paying off the debt or building an emergency fund, a budget provides a clear plan to reach those goals. Second, it reduces your stress. Let's face it, that's one of the biggest stressors we have, our financial situations. When you have a plan in place, you're less likely to worry about unexpected expenses or running out of money, right? And third, it gives you control over your finances. You decide where your money goes rather than wondering where it went. All right, now that we've established why budget is important, let's move on to the practical steps of creating a budget. First things first, you need to know your numbers, right? I'm talking about your income and expenses, where your money is coming from and where it's going. Grab your bank statements, your pay stubs, and other financial documents you have. This is your starting point. Income is usually the easy part. Most of us know how much we make, but if you have multiple income streams, it gets trickier. List them all out. Now, expenses. That's where it gets interesting. You have your fixed expenses like rent, mortgage, car payment, and you have your variable expenses. Those differ and fluctuate. Those are groceries, utilities, entertainment, your travels. Here's a tip pro. Use a simple Google Sheet template. I've provided one for you that I'm personally using. It's straightforward and it keeps everything in one place. Start by listing all your income sources in one column, then list your expenses in another. Break it down by categories like housing, transportation, food, and so on. Be honest. This is for you, and accuracy matters. All right, let's dive deep in. So, this is the first page you will see in the spreadsheet. Your personal monthly budget. Here, you will list all your income sources, your salary, and any extra income, whether it's passive income, whether it's side gig, consulting, whatever you're doing as a side hustle. I filled in a few things just to show you how everything flows together. So first you start with the projection, right? So it's a budget, which means we're projecting and then we're adding actuals in it. I'll try to make it a little bigger for you guys to see it better. Here, let's do it this way. So once you fill in your projections and actuals, it will all be reflected in here. Why it's not? This is not true. I'll cut this off. So once you pre-fill your projected income and then say your salary is on the 15th of each month, or it's twice a month, you can say like your first check was for 250 and the second one was on another date. Your extra income, first you got 10 grand, so you put sign equal 900, then you, I don't know, you've earned another $1,000 by consulting somebody. So you actually went over, right? That's very cool. So now you will see categories like housing, transportation, insurance, food, pets if you have pets. I personally have a gorgeous puppy and he's the light of our lives. Personal care, which includes medical, like for example, I don't know, you projected that you will have to buy some medication this month and it will cost you say $50, but then you went to the pharmacy, it was actually 60. Not cool, but hey, put it in. You needed a haircut, you knew that you will go and get your haircut and it costs you with this price is say $110 and that's what you paid. There you go. Clothing, say you projected you will buy $200 worth of clothing. You couldn't find anything, but you got socks. So you name it. The next category is entertainment. All your subscriptions, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Instacart, whatever you're using, you're adding up your numbers. 10 plus 9.9 plus 8, whatever it is. be very accurate. It's crucial to add up your cents, especially if you have certain financial goals. It's way better to be accurate because it's for you, it's for nobody else. So you pre-fill your budget, you fill in the actuals if you have credit card loans, personal student, don't forget to add this, your taxes. Next category is interesting. I will talk a little later about the 50-30-20 rule. Most of you probably are familiar with it, but nevertheless, it's always useful to remind ourselves about it. But when you add savings or investments account, it deducts from our income, right? But then it adds up to your assets. And this is a very important category. We are adding it to costs here just for the calculation purpose, but this is what you have, right? It's not going anywhere. So don't forget to budget this category each month. This is your love. This is something you're putting some energy to, and this is where your goals are, you know, getting to shine. You can add other other lines. For example, if you are saving for a specific purpose, say you want to buy a car for cash or something like that, you can either leave it as cash and just add here, or you're saying for the car, I'm projecting to save $800 a month, and you're saving your $800 a month. And then in the end, only you know what you're saving for and what's going on here. So gifts and donations, legals and accounting, usual categories, whatever you're using, you're not using, just change for the costs that are relevant to you. You can leave them blank, or you can rename them, or you can add more lines. Not a problem at all. So here you will see your projected costs, your total actual costs, the difference. So you will basically see if you overspend or underspend, which is better. And here you will always see the difference. So this is how we go every month. And in the end, the annual summary will show us the real deal, the real picture. Um, so basically, all your income will be calculated here, and you will see that your extra income, say, is just 10% of all of your annual income, or it's more, or it's whatever. So once you have that, you understand that, if it's even worth it, if you want to switch your income streams, if you want to add more to achieve all your goals. Um, this is the cool thing, the stats for you to see how much you spend on different categories, for housing, for food, for pets, for entertainment. This is very humbling usually, because when you see per year how much you spend on going out, it's usually mind-boggling. But it's necessary. I think it's very useful for us to understand our real spending. Then here's your total annual savings, right? This is your actuals, how much you set aside. And here I added the value of your assets at the moment. So beginning of the year, say you had your house and it was valued at 800,000. A year passed, you can check how much your house now costs at on the market. You should definitely switch it so that you would know the value of your assets, right? Your car, say, it depreciated. Now the car that was of this make of this year costs less. Usual thing, right? Your investments, say you just saved $500 and the markets were fluctuating and didn't change the value. Most probably it did. Hopefully it's going to cost 10% more plus what you've saved, yada yada yada. So this is all going to change. Cash, obviously, if you set aside cash, it will only change to this amount. But the investments, and for example, crypto and your real estate and cars value should be reevaluated every year, more often if you need it. Why am I so adamant about using Google Sheets versus apps? It's a it's absolutely a personal preference, but I do feel more in control when I sit down and look at the whole picture. When I use budget apps, I have to check the categories. It feels more like checking somebody else's homework versus actually feeling and touching your numbers and your money. And checking somebody's homework actually gets old. I can never stick to the apps. With the Excel spreadsheet, I feel like I'm actually creating it. I feel more um, obligated to myself with it because it's what I did, what I built. I put my numbers in, I categorize them, I go over all my statements. And that's actually also a cool thing because I had quite a few times when I saw that there were unauthorized transactions. So I could catch that and call the bank and say, hey, that wasn't me, that's fraud. Let's reissue the card, reverse the transaction. So it saves money as well. With apps, it's kind of, you just rely on somebody else. And that's again just letting go your finances. Not cool, right? All right, now going back to 50-30-20 rule. Um, I was slightly talking about your goals, right? If you're saving for vacation, for the car, maybe you're mm, paying off debt. Those are all your financial goals. So keep them in mind and start allocating your income to different categories. The 50-30-20 rule is a good starting point for this. 50% is always going for your needs. So it's housing, it's food, it's car payments, insurances, medical. This is all always 50% of your budget. 30% for your wants. Say, I want a new blazer, or I want a new book. What kind of wants you have, that's strictly up to you because, I always suggest it's better to invest in yourself. And those are my wants versus, buying a new gold chain or buying a new iPhone, which, if your old one works great, that's just a waste of money. If your old one is broken, that's your tool to make money, right? So always weigh out what you're spending money for. And 20% it goes for savings and debt repayment. When I have good years and I know that my income is going really high, I usually turn everything upside down and I set aside 50% of my income. Um, but that's in really good years. We all have to be realistic and understand that sometimes it's really hard to even save 20%. So, no judgment. You have to adjust the percentages based on your personal situation. And the beauty of using the Google Sheets for that you can always track it in real time and adjust the numbers. Once you adjust them, you automatically see how everything changes. All right. And then, and remember, the budget is not set in stone. It's a living document that evolves with you. As your income changes, your expenses fluctuating, you just update your sheet. The key is to review it as regularly as possible. Once a month is the least you can do. I do it every week. When you're setting up a goal, be very specific. Instead of saying, I want to save money, say, I want to save $10,000 for a vacation by the end of the year. Specific goals are easier to track and achieve. Write them down and keep them somewhere visible to stay motivated. This usually helps a lot. If you can automate savings, that's the best thing to have. I think each bank, each account right now has the automation where you can say that you want to save each month, withdraw from your checking account and send it to your brokerage account or your savings account. Uh, Banks usually do it automatically. If you could do it, please do it. It will get you to your goals way faster. Now, as we're finishing our first module, my request for you is to open the spreadsheet, get to your financial statements, your bank statements, and fill in your first month. Right now, when I record it, is July. I will be working on my last week of expenses. I have everything budgeted. I will record all my costs and spendings. I hope I'm not going over, though who knows? We'll see right now. And let's compare our results in the next module. There you have it. You tracked your income and expenses, set your goals, and created a budget using a simple Google Sheet template. It's not rocket science, but it's a powerful tool. Take a moment to appreciate this step. You are taking control of your financial future. And that's not a small step. In the future modules, we'll dive into how to stick to your budget and make adjustments as needed. But for now, take a deep breath. You've just laid the foundation for your financial stability. Congrats, and see you at the next module.